panics or causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
Orale raza, gfunkyboxing of HCP. That's Hispanics causing panic. Want to thank you guys for being here. Make sure. I think we got a echo going on here. I'm not sure who's got the echo. Let's see. Boy. Can you guys hear that echo, or is it just me?
I was actually on mute, so it definitely wasn't coming from my side, G.
Okay.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. We're good.
Yeah, okay. I hear a bad delayed echo.
We don't panic on Uncensored. You know what I mean? Let's not panic. Let's go. Panic is real. We're the ones causing panic. Don't let the echo cause the panic now.
Yeah, it's just really bad in my end right now.
I don't hear it at all now.
Did you check the echo cancellation, bro?
Let me check. No,
Yeah.
honestly, I really can't. I can't make out anything.
Check the echo cancellation on the mic setting.
Yeah, mine is off.
I don't know. What if I mute myself?
Let me see.
If you still heard it there, I was on mute.
I keep hearing. Yeah, I'm hearing you for some reason, but
Who?
okay, never mind. I fix it now.
Let's get it
All
rolling.
right,
Let's
guys.
get it rolling.
Sorry about that.
Let's go. All right.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a little technical difficulty. You know, I can be on the internet sometimes, but want to thank all you guys for being here, joining us live. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, D-Style Boxing, and we got a friend, a familia of HCP, Maestro Milcar.
Hey.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on, my brother.
Anytime, man. I'm glad I got that thing figured out right away. I didn't want to continue. It was really bad on my end for some reason, man. But it's all done now. But hey, got some interesting topics here to talk about tonight. Just a couple, and then we'll just dig into whatever is clever out there, man. But I want to swing it around the horn to you guys, man. Let's start off with the Earl Spence thing that's going around now. Now, look, here's the thing, man. I like Earl Spence. I don't have an issue with Earl Spence. I think he's a good fighter. You know, I'm glad that he was able to survive that crash that he was in, that he was involved in. Came back against a good fighter, Danny Garcia. But now we're hearing things about how this guy is a bigger name, a bigger draw than Canelo Alvarez. I mean, first off, I just want to get your guys' quick thoughts on that, and then we'll dig into it. But what do you make of that, D-Style?
Look, man. First of all, shout out to everybody who's down with HCP. Let me know, because you know me. Check it out, man. As far as this goes, really simple. Okay? The answer is no. Spence is not a bigger name and a bigger draw than Saul Canelo Alvarez. Everybody knows that. Okay, that's number one. Anyone who says otherwise is literally full of shit. Okay? That's literally number one. It does not mean that Spence hasn't been making a name for himself. He has. He's been, you know, he has a really good resume. He's one of the biggest names in the sport, but he's not the biggest. He's not the face of boxing. Point blank, period. Okay. If to you, like all the evidence you need is some, the numbers of the gate from the last fights that they had during the pandemic. One in the Alamo Dome and one where Spence fought. And okay, I guess if you want to compare a last-minute fight that got made and they just kind of, made it on the fly compared to a fight that PBC promoted on two other big cards for months, then you go ahead and do that, man. At the end of the day, shout out to Lion Killer Podcast, by the way. Shout out to them having Sugar Hill on a real fucking interview. Okay, that's number one.
Good interview there. Before I swing it over to you, Maestro, I want to just say what's up to the people here. Mr. Popo says, salute, HCP. Sicario Boxing is here. He says, saludos, HCP. What's going on, man? Mr. Sinister is here. Yeah, Lion Killer says, Sir gfunkyboxing. How you doing, man? That was a really good interview you had with Sugar Hill, man. Really good. Good to see him on a real platform, and answer some real questions. NYY Mex, how you doing, man? Great to see all you guys here. So, Maestro, what do you think, man? What do you think of this Spence being the guy?
News for everyone. I mean, if we're looking at Gates, Errol Spence isn't the biggest name in the sport. It's obviously Tim Tszyu. I mean, didn't Tim Tszyu have the biggest gate during the pandemic?
Ooh, yeah.
He had way more fans show up at a stadium in Australia than anyone here in the U.S. So if we're just going off ticket sales, I guess Tim Tszyu is the biggest star in boxing. Look, it's absurd. Canelo put together that fight at the last minute, just like D-Style said. And if they're also looking at pay-per-view sales, everyone knows that the pay-per-view scales were only a fraction of the viewership that watched Canelo's last fight. Because, of course, most people that watched the fight were subscribers to DAZN. So, yes, the entire thing is ridiculous. But, it's difficult kind of to reason with people who clearly have, an elementary school math education. I don't know, even my elementary school kids can do that kind of math. As for the Sugar Hill interview, I don't know if I should mention the name of the other podcast he was on or not. I know we're trying to be positive in 2021, right, D-Style? But
that's right.
I've now seen a couple interviews on that show, and it's like the brother brings people on just so that people can come on and say wild ass outlandish shit on the show. The last one I'd seen before that was one with Mauricio Suleiman, which I thought was even worse than the one I saw with Sugar Hill. So at a certain point, people are really going to have to ask themselves, why are they going on these outlets? I mean, he had one guy literally threatening Sugar Hill with bodily harm and allowing it to go on and on. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's disgusting, man. Disgusting behavior. And again, all this stuff with zero proof of anything. The hope that a man dies in a car crash with no proof. And I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. But shout out to Lion Killer for sure, who had Sugar Hill on and made him feel like he was in a real interview with a real boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about this again. Look, again, Earl Spence this is no hate on Earl Spence at all. I know that there might be some people that take it that way because they don't like what they're hearing, but you know what? At the end of the day, I don't give a damn. Shout out to Haplotype and the GOAT who are both here. Thanks for joining us. But here's the thing, man. All right. And D-Style mentioned this. Canelo's fight was introduced, 4 weeks before the fight happened? So you have a 4-week build up to a fight. Spence had been out of the ring for over a year. His date got pushed back even. I remember that fight was supposed to be early in November, I believe, when it first got announced. Ended up being early December that fight happened. So again, more time to promote, more time to sell tickets, right? Not only that, again, these are all the things that these guys are leaving out that make these claims, right? Not only that, there's a limit to the amount of people that you could have in a place right now during the pandemic, right? Raider, what's going on, bro? I believe it's 20% capacity in these big stadiums that are having fights in Texas. So if you do the math, you're going to have a little bit more people in AT&T Stadium than you would in the Alamo Dome, right? But again, I believe both sold out. Spence was around 14,000 or something like that. Canelo around 12, which is, the capacity. So again, Canelo sells out with less time promoting the event. Not only that, I mean, obviously he made more money than Spence. I mean, if they're going to claim that Spence is the A side now, if he fights Canelo, then I mean, the paychecks aren't adding up. I mean, am I right or wrong on that? I mean, the A side makes more money at the end of the day, right or wrong?
Well, you're absolutely right.
So if Spence is the A side, right, and he wants a Canelo fight, then whose job is it to send an offer? Whose job is that? That's the A side, right?
You're absolutely right. Plus, Canelo's biggest gate without Floyd, let me just put that out there, is $27 million. Okay? So spare me. How about that?
And this is true right here. Absolutely true, Junior Delgado. Nopal is here. What's up, Nopal? How you doing, man? Yeah, I mean, if he's the A side again, it's up to him to make the offer, send out, pay for the event, all that good stuff that goes behind boxing. But I mean, Spence, I believe, and I could be wrong on this. Again, I'm not the best when it comes to numbers and money and all that type of stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, Spence probably took home about 10 after everything was said and done with this fight with Danny Garcia. Canelo made what? Over 20 million? Something like that? So, I mean, it's not even close, man. But again, these guys don't report the full story. You know what I'm saying? They're not reporting everything. They're not telling you that the Alamo Dome couldn't even have as many fans as AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Number one.
Yeah, but just it's ridiculous on its face anyway. Like at the end of the day, because on that same report, Tank Davis's numbers were atrocious. So, so what does that do when you try to argue that Tank Davis is a big star when his gate numbers weren't that impressive compared to Spence and Canelo? It makes him look bad. Are you saying that Spence is a bigger name than Tank? And if he is, how big of a name is Tank really? I mean, we just got to think about those things. At the end of the day, it's not really about Canelo, though. What I'm noticing is that the narrative is look at he did better numbers than even Canelo, right? Which is why he should get 60% compared to Crawford 40%. Like 60-40 is more than fair. That's from what I'm seeing. That's why it's being used. In other words, you know what I mean, to add on to the 60-40 conversation that I've been hearing for like 2 years already. All right.
Yeah, no sweat. Milcar, you want to add anything to that, man? We just talked about.
It's unfortunate that again, there's a large segment of the boxing community that seems to have a stake in what boxers have in their pockets. It's like their concern seems to be how much money they make, who's the A side, who's the B side. I mean, I'm starting to sound like an old man at this point, but can we just get back to the time when like a boxing fan was someone that actually wanted to talk skills, tactics, strategy, who's the better fighter, mythical matchups, this kind of shit? You know what I mean? And we're on these outlets, right? We have these conversations, we cover what's going on, so we do engage in it. What I at least appreciate about the three of us is that, when we hear this kind of stuff, we just debunk it right away so that we could get to the stuff that really matters.
Right.
Absolutely, man. And here's something I want to add to this, to these narrative pushers and creators that do this type of stuff. And here's how you know it's only for the benefit of their own pocket and not the sport. Because if we just look at the numbers of the guys that they get behind and push and claim that these guys are big stars, it just doesn't – what they do to push these narratives to make these guys seem like they're bigger than they are, it doesn't work. The numbers don't lie, Spence did – I'm hearing he did around 250 with Danny Garcia, 250,000 buys. Tank Davis is another guy that they claim is a huge megastar. He did what, 200. Charlos, they pushed the Charlos. They did 100K. So I mean, all this narrative pushing and all this stuff it's not working. It shows that these guys don't push no needle, no nothing. They ain't kicking no dust. All right, they ain't rocking no boat when it comes to the boxing world. None of that. It's all just to add money into their pockets, man. That's it. It's not going over to – we don't see it translating to fans saying, you know what? I seen these guys saying this and this about the Charlos. I'm going to buy the pay-per-view. Fuck no, that's not what's happening, man. You know who did buy that pay-per-view? I did. I bought the pay-per-view because I like the Charlo brothers. I don't have an issue with the Charlo brothers. What I have an issue with is these dudes. Go ahead, man.
Well, I was going to say, and I just want to make this really, really clear right now, okay? Number one, this is uncensored, okay? what I mean by that is here we talk about all the uncomfortable shit. If you feel uncomfortable listening to any of this stuff, then that's cool. We do plenty of shows where we don't talk about this, right? Tuesdays, HCP, we keep it 100% boxing. You know what I mean? We do our thing, and that's that. And we do the round table, right? Uncensored. Well, we do talk boxing, obviously, but we do talk about some of the uncomfortable things that people just don't want to touch on. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just from my perspective, is what I want to say. My driving force is the actual narratives, not so much the people, right? I'm going after the narratives here. That's what I'm concentrating on. You know what I mean? And if I see a narrative that I just don't, maybe to you it's the truth. Well, you're saying it on the internet. It's on a public forum. I get to respond to that narrative is what I get to do. And the idea that Spence is a bigger draw than Canelo is ridiculous on its surface. Like, it just is. That's the truth. And the reason we speak about it, number one, because we can. That's number one. Number two is a lot of it seeps over, okay, to our shit. So when we're doing a show on a Tuesday, okay, and we're just talking our shit and we say a name, like the name Tyson Fury comes out of my mouth, all of a sudden I have to see Glovegate conspiracy theorists in the chat. Okay, if I just say the name Errol Spence, he's selling more than Canelo, blah blah blah, right? Whatever it is, so it seeps. So that's why we're here. Everything we talk about on this show, we are responding to things that people are telling us, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, on our shows, or other social media platforms. Okay, this is a response show. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
Exactly, man.
Hey, check it out. Look at this. Corona Premier. All right, LT.
That's hilarious. So here's what we're going to do, guys. This is a new feature we have since we got my man Maestro here. The number is right there in the chat. You guys could actually call the line and talk with us live right now if you don't want to come on, onto the actual StreamYard,
Somebody call in.
I'll put the number at the bottom as well. There you go. There's the number. You guys want to call in and give your piece on this narrative that's being pushed out there? Go right ahead. Milcar will take your call, and you will be live on the air with HCP. You'll be able to speak your mind. That's
something, LT.
Go ahead. Let
me tell you something. Okay, I would outdrink LT like so bad. He'll be off borracho on the ground if he drank with me. But he couldn't hang with me. All right. I got the light. That's my water during the show, bro. Okay, that's number one. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
There you go, LT. We got an official challenge, bro. So you better be ready. I heard the Dragon can put him down with just about anybody. So I just want to say, man, like it's.
I'll read out the number. Someone's saying they can't see it. It's area code 347-460-1773.
Guys, look, it's scrolling right there.
Let me help out a milk cart. You never say 17 because people, when they're writing it down, they're going to write 7.
Okay,
17. Yeah. 347-460-1773.
That's right, man. I just think it's pretty sad, dude, that these guys, they push these certain fighters when, again, we look at the numbers when they come in, and it just doesn't translate to what these guys say. It just doesn't, these guys are such big stars, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just crazy. But from my understanding, and I know if Nopal is still in the chat, he'll know this for sure. I know that DAZN made it to where you can order the fight through your cable provider. And if you didn't have a DAZN subscription. So does anybody know the amount of buys that he got, or has that been released?
No, I don't know, G Funky. But if they are going by that number, that's obviously a fraction of the eyeballs that were watching the telecast. My issue with a lot of this too is I'll tell you where a lot of it stems from. When someone's saying that they're the A side, or their fans or their managers or fanagers are making that case, later on, when their ridiculous financial demands are not met, that becomes an excuse not to make a fight. So that's kind of an added implication of what's going on. Oh, somebody says
just that we had a technical difficulty with the line.
All right, it's the first time for everything.
We'll iron out the kinks for sure, man. You know what else is funny? Hey Guido, what's up, man? Thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate you. Hit the like button, guys, if you haven't. Run PMC too, man. I missed you earlier, man. My bad. My brother Run PMC from Northern California. What's happening, man? I want to say this too. You know, these guys seem to forget that back in the summer of 2019, there was a pretty big fight that happened then. A pretty big fight. You guys remember that fight?
Yeah.
That was Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. I believe that fight did what, 600? 600K? Something like that? So, again, I mean, I guess they forgot about that guy. I know he hasn't fought in a while, but we know if he was to come back and fight one of these guys.
Did it go through?
I got it. D-Styles coming in now.
Okay.
Looks like we're going to get our first call on ACP Uncensored.
Erico 323, you there?
Haplo type, brother.
Oh, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Haplo? How you doing?
On the air or what?
Yep, you're on the air.
Oh, sweet. So I was just calling in about the whole Spence narrative that he's bigger than Canelo, which is totally ridiculous, obviously. I think they're cherry picking a stat, which is that in the last year that Spence has done more pay-per-view numbers than Canelo. But that's only because Canelo has been fighting on the zone. And what I think Canelo's team did, which I think was a mistake because I'm not a DAZN guy, but they took this huge upfront money from DAZN. Basically, they probably calculated it out like, well, if we fought these next 6 fights or whatever they did the deal for on pay-per-view, we'd probably make this much money. So why not take it in front and try this new platform? And so he hasn't been fighting on pay-per-view. So technically, yes, in the last year or so, Spence has done more pay-per-view than Canelo, but Spence's pay-per-view numbers are so pathetic compared to what if Canelo hadn't done that deal with DAZN, if he had just been on pay-per-view and fought Golovkin twice and Kovalev and those guys, he would have dwarfed Spence's pay-per-view numbers by a country mile. So,
right. We just got Haplo. We just got some numbers here from Nopal, who is a big Canelo fan. So I'm pretty sure he's done his research before he would post something here. But he says he thought Canelo sold 250 pay-per-view buys with how many he had. Obviously the subscribers. So who knows what would have done if it was on regular pay-per-view? You know.
Yep.
You still there, Haplo?
He hung up, but I'm going to bring in Nopal right now. Actually.
Okay.
I'm bringing in Nopal right now.
Man?
Hey, Nopal, what's up, bro?
Nopal.
Hey,
what up?
What's
on your mind?
Yeah, you're live,
baby.
Oh man, I was gonna crank call you guys, bro. So
what's on your mind, brother?
You know, that's something that I heard along the way. I mean, somebody else was saying that. I don't really know if the numbers were official, that it was 250,000 pay-per-view buys, but somebody on the other side of things was actually saying that was a very low number for Canelo. And you know, my reasoning for that was if 250,000 buys was there on a plan B, meaning plan A was basically the zone thing, basically the subscribers for the zone. And as a secondary option, if you can sell 250,000 pay-per-view buys, I thought that was amazing, you know? So, you know, I just wanted to say that, you know, basically. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
No, I think that you're right. Nopal is a secondary option. That's actually a huge number. You know, that's as a secondary option, that's far more than, for example, Terrence Crawford did as a first option on his ESPN pay-per-view with Top Rank.
Yeah. You know what else? You know what else they're leaving out too is they're leaving out that it wasn't it a pay-per-view over in the UK?
Like media and all these guys, and they're constantly always on damage control. So it isn't a big coincidence that Spence is over here telling Crawford now. I mean, he went from 60-40, now he's saying 70-30. And our move is, as boxing fans, we're supposed to jump in there and say, hey, why are you being such a diva? Have you even worked your way up the ladder to be able to, impose these kind of straight up Scrooge type of splits on another active fighter that, basically has a similar resume to yours? Do you deserve that kind of split?
Can I ask you a question, Opal?
Up the ladder to be able to, be such a diva. That's
can you hear us, Amilcar?
As hardcore boxing fan. For some reason, these guys are actually they're justifying that type of diva, mentality from Spence's part.
No, Paul. Can you hear D-Style and D-Funky?
Can you hear us, No, Paul?
Yeah, I can just hear you.
Oh shit! All right. Well, what?
Well, ask him this. Ask him. D-Style wants to know if he feels that is Spence the A side to Crawford. That's what I want to know.
So while we sort this out, D-Style's asking, is Spence the A side to Crawford? I think I know you're going to know I think I know the answer to this, but go ahead, No Power.
Yeah, I think he is. There's no question about that. Of course he is. But is he in a position to be a diva? Is really the question about it. Is he in the position to act like he's better than Crawford in any way? No, I don't think so.
Can he call back so he could hear us?
That a fair split should be 60-40. You're already going to have to fight the dude on his network, choosing. So you're already getting that. Your promoter's already getting that back end money on the gate and all that. So 60-40 should be more than good, right? I mean, in my opinion, but hey, I'm not neither here nor there. I don't do negotiations, none of that. I just, we just make assumptions on what we think is right, basically,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know what? I'll ask my boy G to send me a link.
All right, cool.
And I'll let you take another call.
All right, sounds good.
Appreciate that. All right, brother.
All right. Thanks, No Paul.
I'll send you the link right now.
What I'm trying to get at is this, right? Like, I just think is the following. So I think we all understand that Spence is a quote unquote A side, if for what it's worth, right? But No Paul makes a good point. Like, it's kind of like, what's with this constant confirmation bias that they're looking for to confirm it? Like, if you're so positive about it, you don't have to make something out of nothing with these numbers. Really, these numbers are not anything to brag about, guys. Sub 3 million really is not something to brag about. Okay, it just isn't. Like $250,000 buys is not something to brag about. I'm just letting you guys know right now.
How about this? How about we do this, right? Since guys, again, the guys that they push as major pay-per-view stars like Spence, Gervonta Davis, the Charlos, right? Even though the Charlos only been on pay-per-view one time, and Tank Davis, right?
Something like that.
When Canelo fought Liam Smith, that pay-per-view did 300,000. So he's in there with a guy who's relatively unknown in the United States and does 300,000. He's outperforming these guys when Spence is in there with Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? A guy who is pretty well known amongst the boxing fans in the United States. Nopal, paso.
Hey, camaradas, how you doing, D-Style? What's up, big God? And what's up, my boy G?
We good, baby. We good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. I'm glad I was able to swing by and talk to you guys for a bit.
No problem, man. No problem. So, yeah, go ahead and continue with what you were saying on the phone, man. Because I know you couldn't hear us, but we could hear you.
Yeah, all I was saying is basically, it just seems like, the fighters of right now, for some reason, something, I don't know. And you know what it is? The big problem about it is that their fan bases are kind of like doing a lot of this work for them. So they're giving them like the green light before they even achieve it to be a diva. So, you know what I mean? They're always making excuses for them. And, it just allows this type of behavior. For some reason, Terrence Crawford is not on their good graces right now. And, they're talking about him right now, but, so they're basically on Spence's side, and they want Crawford to go ahead and say, yeah. And I don't even think Crawford is at liberty to accept a deal like that. A 70-30 split. I don't think he's, I don't think Bob Arum will let him go over there and take that kind of split, because it's a huge risk of a fight. And, for Top Rank to not be promoting that fight and have it on pay-per-view for them, it would be a huge loss for him to go over there and take a loss like that,
I hear you, man. And I was just mentioning, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this, Nopal. Even when Canelo's in there with a guy who's unknown to a majority of boxing fans here in the United States, Canelo's still able to do 300K with Liam Smith. I mean, it's better than what these guys are doing against big names or well-known names here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Even with Charlo, both Charlo brothers. I mean, granted, that was their debut pay-per-view. I mean, what did they do, about 200K? That's like 100,000 between both of them,
I heard 100,000 total.
Less than that, bro. I think it was actually less than that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice fight and everything. I mean, they deserve more numbers than that, but
how we doing with the phone line at Milcar? Is the kinks ironed out? We got a few people saying that they.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it set up in 2 minutes. I have to run it through Bluetooth.
Be patient, guys. We'll get there. We want to get people in and out. You know what I mean? We can get more people that way. Plus, we just really want to try out this phone because with this option, it's just it's more convenient for a lot of other people.
Yeah, it might be a little easier for some people.
On the different side,
like Alti's internet doesn't work with the link. You know what I mean? So he could call in. For example. You know what I mean?
Eat your LT Taco Bell. Go ahead, Paul. You was gonna say something? Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I got people asking me about them HCP shirts, man. Gonna need a couple of them in Puerto Rican colors, Mexican colors, whatever you guys could get, man.
It's right here. Let's check it out.
There it is, baby. Look at that.
Hispanic, Cuban colors, Puerto Rican colors, the whole nine, dude. It's like Superman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, every time I see like stupid narratives and shit, especially about Latino fighters, I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? I gotta go fly out. You know what I mean? This thing.
That is a firme camisa, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying?
And you better have him in big boy size for my boy G-Funk, man. He might need a 3 or 4X, man. You never know.
Orale.
And by the way, I don't want to hear any crying and shit. I gotta hear bullshit about Latino fighters all day. I don't want to hear any fucking crying. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
I was just kidding, G-Funk. I was asking for myself because I might need a 3X.
I don't know why Raider wants El Salvador colors, but we could work it out. Like,
hey, I'm gonna need some Honduran and some El Salvador colors too, bro.
I was just gonna say Honduras. ¿Dónde estás? Where they at, dude?
We'll work it out.
But yeah, man.
Like all day, but just really quick, like all day, like Homo Fimo Lopez, Canelo's a bitch, and you say one, like you do one simple, respectable counter. Like, I'm gonna unsub. Like I don't want to talk to these guys no more. They go too uncensored on Uncensored, right? Too
exactly.
bad, okay. Too bad. Just saying.
Right, man. The amount of BS that's put out there about our fighters, and what we do is we come on, we just talk facts, man. Like we're doing right now. We're bringing the numbers to you guys, the undoctored up numbers. Like these guys will again. They forgot all that other shit that we already brought up about how you can't fill up the stadium and you're only allowed a certain amount of people. the amount of time that was used to promote the fight, and Canelo not fighting on pay-per-view, technically not, even though you could get it on pay-per-view if you wanted to, but I believe a majority of his fans now have DAZN. That's just what I believe. That's the only reason why I got it in the first place was because of Canelo. He was the first boxer to go over there under that app. So if I'm going to cover fights, I got to get the app. I have to cover the face of boxing, right or wrong.
Facts. I was gonna say, brother, like Chicano says, man, it's a golden time for Latino boxing right now. And I gotta say this, man, and the Cubans haven't even gotten into the picture. Imagine when they get in here with a running start, we're gonna be unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? With the
there's some good young ones. Yeah, there's some good young ones coming up too, man. So it's gonna be cool. Haplo is here. He's joining us live, man. What's up, bro?
Yo, I was just trying to get in because on the phone I couldn't hear you guys, so I just wanted to be here to respond to any responses to what I was saying. I think the narrative again, real quick, is just that Spence has been fighting on pay-per-view and Canelo really hasn't. It's that second option, but that second option has only been available, I think, on the last Canelo fight. I don't think that was available on the prior Canelo fights. So, if he did 250 on just a second option, the way Paul mentioned, that's a pretty good indicator right there. And I think I could give Canelo a good 50% of the credit for all the subscribers that DAZN has in the United States.
All right, let's go ready for the calls, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to say that everything that Haplotype just said, all of it, is a bunch of bullshit. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
That's that Corona. You need Modelo over there.
So Eric 23 is out there. I'm gonna bring in area code 213. We gotta bring him in.
Okay.
And
that's LA. That's LA.
Yeah, that's SoCal. Is that Raider? Is that Raider on the line or what?
Yeah, I think it might be. All right, I'll
My mother told me never assume. Because if you're wrong, you're going to look like a fool.
I know 213 is LA. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know that too.
Live and die in LA. It's the place to be.
It was crazy. I was listening to Tupac earlier today too, man. That's crazy. Major Key's in the house. Hey, how you doing, Major Key? What's up, man?
Major Key.
Looks like Raiders screening calls, huh?
Area code 213. He's one of the people that called.
Well, just tell him to call back in. Just call back in, guys.
Yeah.
I think it'll make it easier.
But the thing is, when you call in, it says that.
That's because it wasn't ringing on his end. That's all.
Yeah, I think we got it figured out now. So the number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We're going to iron out the kinks here, man, because we're going to try to add a little feature here to the show.
I just had it working on my show the other day. Anyways. Yeah.
But let's keep it moving until we,
Yeah, so I think we've destroyed that narrative that Spence is a bigger draw than Canelo. I mean, these guys see one little thing and they ran with it. But the problem is this, man. Their narratives that they've been pushing for so long, they're running out of narratives now, man. All these things that they've been pushing for so long, like Glovegate and all this other nonsense, they're just falling like trees left and right, man. And here's another one that got destroyed. Just last week we had, or was it 2 weeks ago, we had Jermell Charlo come out and say that Glovegate, he doesn't believe it was real and that Wilder just got his ass whipped by Fury, which I think any real. Yes, sir.
I've got 213 on the line.
Okay, go ahead.
213, you're live. What's up?
Hey, yo, what's cracking, homie?
What up?
That's Raider, bro. You know the voice, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
Yes,
we hear
Raider.
you loud and clear, bro.
It's me, Raider.
How's it
Salute,
going,
bro.
Raider, what's up?
Hey, it sounds kind of funky. I don't know if it's my fault or
We can hear you pretty good, Raider.
all right. Nah, I was just trying to talk about this fucking Spence and Canelo thing. You know what I mean?
Well, burn it up, baby. Burn it up.
I was looking at the numbers, right? And Canelo has done 9 fights before this Callum Smith fight, right? Pay-per-view. And he did 8 million pay-per-view fights. It was like 8 million and something. I divided that by the number of fights. Like 897,000 pay-per-view buys on average. So I mean that just shows you how much people be watching them. You know what I mean? Compared to Spence. Spence's highest was against Mikey, right? It was like 300 and something thousand pay-per-view buys, and it's been declining ever since. You know what I mean? Then he fought Porter, and it was like in the 200s, and then he fought Danny, which was low too. So they've been declining. So how is he doing more numbers than Canelo? That shit don't make no sense.
He's not.
Right. He's just not. So yeah, that's good numbers there that you went and did an average of his
Now,
pay-per-view
let me ask you
buys.
this, though, Reader. Is that including the Floyd fight?
Yeah, it's including the Floyd fight. But you got to count all of them, because what are you going to do? You're not going to count Spence versus Mikey's? Mikey's the one that brought the crowd. Because if you didn't bring that crowd, then why is Spence numbers going up? They're going down.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It is.
I count all of them. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir. We agree.
Plus, to add to your point, Floyd didn't do those numbers with like Mike Donna and Robert Guerrero, and you know what I mean? Like he did like 1 million with those guys. He did double that with Canelo. So
People also forget there was such low demand for Floyd towards the end that they had to put the Berto fight on regular Showtime. Remember? That wasn't a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, I'm with the. You got to put everybody. I mean, you got to put Floyd in there. You got to put everybody. Has Canelo fought Triple G. You're not gonna count Triple G's numbers. I mean, like, come on, like when you got to count all of them. Everybody, even all Floyd's fights, all Canelo's fights, all Mike Spence's fights. Count all of them and average them out. I mean, you know what I mean? That's how it goes.
That's facts, bro. That's facts. Yeah, you brought some good stuff to the table here, man. Anybody else wanted to respond to Raider? Haplo, Nopal, anybody?
Yeah, I wanted to say that Raider's absolutely right, and when it comes to Canelo, you hear some of the most far-fetched angles being used. I remember when it was Canelo versus Triple G. The Triple G army was saying that without Triple G, Canelo couldn't sell pay-per-views. And how did that have any kind of truth to it when Canelo had just sold a million pay-per-views versus Chavez Jr.? So, they were using that angle and running with it to try to say that Triple G was actually the A side, because he had the belt, and because without Triple G, supposedly Canelo couldn't sell no pay-per-views. But I mean, he did 3 pay-per-views that sold straight up 1 million. The Chavez Jr. was 1 million. The first Triple G fight was 1.3. The second Triple G fight was 1 million. I guess that was because they upped the price, to be able to pay both of their purses, and the first Floyd fight, I think it was like 1.9 million that it did, the Floyd fight with
La Shota showed up, boy.
And
this is definitely uncensored. We have the Huda in the background. Y todo.
That was the police passing by. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm on mute.
We're under arrest, everybody.
Let me address this comment real quick from Awesomeness. Now, you've been around here. I've seen you've been posting some stuff here. Look, anybody is welcome to come here and talk to me about anything. I don't give a damn who they are, what group or whatever they're associated with. You bring them here, we'll get them on. We don't run from nobody, man. And we don't mute, we don't block. We don't do none of that, man. So you tell whoever you want. You tell whoever you want, man. It's not an issue with me, man. Anything else you guys want to add to Raiders' point?
I'll add this too. So I don't know if you guys brought it up, but Canelo's lowest was 300,000 with Liam Smith. 300 and something, whatever thousand. Right? Yeah, Liam Smith. And then fucking Spence's highest was 300,000. So that 300,000, all of a sudden, he's a star. But when Canelo does 300,000, it was he can't sell anything.
But the narrative they're running with though is that in the last year or so since Canelo's been on DAZN, he hasn't been fighting really on pay-per-view. So now they're saying for the last year or two, Spence has done more pay-per-view numbers, but I don't even know if that's true. And also, you brought up an interesting point, Raider, that I think maybe Canelo might be the last guy to do 1 million pay-per-views that was like a current boxer, excluding obviously Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, because that was sort of an anomaly. But as far as like current, real relevant boxers of today, who else has done 1 million pay-per-view buys in the last couple of years besides Canelo?
Right. Nobody has.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nobody has. Shout out to Raw Boxing.
I actually think that
go ahead.
I actually believe that Crawford versus Spence could probably do at least 700,000 pay-per-view buys. And if it hit 1 million, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think that fight could do about.
That's not going to happen, though. That fight obviously isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
We got another guest here joining us on the StreamYard. D. Jefferson, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Good,
what
man.
Up, D.
Good.
Jefferson?
This guy don't know nothing about boxing. What do you have this guy on?
Yeah. I came up here. Look, I came up here so I could school Raider. I want to school Raider. I didn't want him spreading that false information, man. You know what I mean?
Well, we got Raider on the phone lines, man. He's doing some good stuff though, man. He's making some good points here. So, D. Jefferson, I'm sure you've been listening to what we've been talking about here, man. What do you got anything to add to this?
Yeah, man. I got to defend my guy Spence because I heard some fallacies and blasphemy toward my guy Errol Spence. So I guess I'm gonna be a man on the island on this one.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I think okay. So I want to say this first. No, it's the wood tip, sweetie. The wood tip sweets. Isn't that the wood tip? No, that's a filtered tip. Oh, well, got any wood tips. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So sorry about that, guys. So check this out, though. The amount is not too far. Like how far their value is, their stock is. I don't think that it's as far as a lot of these Spence fans make it out to be. However, there is a separation, especially if Spence goes and gets this belt off of Ugas, right? Because Crawford and his team are putting a lot of value in things that just don't give you value. Like the pound for pound list don't give you value, fam. And I understand that Crawford want to attach that to his value, but that's not how it works. We got to actually go by what these suits are going to pay for. They don't give two shits about it.
Pound for pound didn't give Floyd value.
No. Pound for pound didn't give Floyd value. Floyd gave Floyd value. Floyd's mouth gave him value. Listen, man. Pound for pound, listen, bro. Pound for pound does not give you stock because it's subjective, fam. You need to kill that. I don't even know where you got that idea from. First off, there's so many
from him.
Okay, hold on for a second. First off, there's so many different pound for pound lists. Because Floyd sits up there and talks shit and promotes himself, that doesn't mean that it matters. He also said that Leo Santa Cruz being a 4-division champion and all of that foolery made Tank Davis a competitive fight. Was it true? No, it wasn't true. It's called promotion. But just because Floyd gets up there and hollers shit doesn't mean that it's true. You cannot put value on a pound for pound status. If that was the case, Lomachenko would have been
Sure you
making more
can.
money.
Sure you
Now,
can.
okay, well you can, but
Sure
the
you
guys
can.
you pay for these fights are not gonna do that, fam. I don't know
Floyd
where you're
did
coming from with that. They're not gonna do that.
I
Floyd
mean,
did it.
I've been thinking Rigo's pound for pound for a while, but
Long time.
Right, and
Yeah.
it means nothing. And you're talking about Floyd did it, but you're missing the whole concept of what Floyd did. Here's something that Crawford didn't do that Floyd did. He fucking fought people. Okay? Because Pretty Boy Floyd, the early Floyd, fought people. There was no argument.
That's a myth,
Hold
bro.
on, guys. Hold on, dude. Whoever this is that keep cutting me off. Hold on.
Yo, Haplo, just let him. It's his time to talk,
Yeah.
Haplo. Chill out.
Yeah, we'll
chill out.
let you respond. We'll let you respond. We'll let you respond. Don't worry. Go ahead, D.
Yeah. So back at it though, with Floyd and Crawford. Crawford has one elite name on his resume, Victor Postler. That's it. You can't just have a pound for pound and nothing behind it. If you want to cry about pound for pound, it has to be something, some substance behind it. Crawford has none. He has none. And then when he moved to 147, with Postal being his only elite fighter on his damn resume, when he moves to 147, he doesn't even have a top ranked fighter on his resume. Not a top 5.
Hold on, D. Are you telling me that Jeff
Hey,
Horn is not an
hold
elite
on. I thought we were talking about Canelo and Spence, not Spence and Crawford.
No, well, I heard that whole Spence and the value and all of that, so I had to speak on that. But Jeff Horn is not worth a fucking penny with a hole in it, dude. That dude is a double fighter.
He beat Pacquiao for the title.
Yeah, he beat Pacquiao, but again, that's superficial. You have to add substance to it.
Why
How
is
many
that
people thought?
superficial? He beat him for the title.
Well, I'll answer. Just go ahead. Do you want to know why? Because Jeff Horn can't box a damn gift, fam. Plus, he went up to 160 and looked horrible.
Doesn't matter. He beat Pacquiao for the title. He upset the apple cart.
Like I understand. Like maybe you're in debate mode, but it is what it is. He feels how he feels, and you feel how you feel, Haplo.
And not only that, Haplo, I don't know what school of boxing you from, but bro, do you understand that level of competition?
You and me have been on lives many times before, D.
I know we have, but Haplo, level of competition matters, fam. You can't just say that it doesn't matter. The people you beat matters, fam.
Okay, well here's what we'll do. We're gonna take another call. Raider, we want to thank you for calling in, man, and adding your opinion to the show, man.
Hello?
Anything you want to say before we move on, bro?
Yeah, go ahead. Before we go
Can you guys hear me or not?
Yeah, before we go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
904.
Oh yeah. No, I just want to say, I think Spence is a side over Crawford because I think he brings in more revenue. I believe. You know what I mean? I don't think pound for pound matters, even though the hardcores do think that Crawford is pound for pound and more expensive. I don't think that makes you more of a star because the casuals are the ones that buy.
Exactly.
So wait, what is it about Spence that makes you think he's A side?
We're moving to the next caller, brother. Let him say his thought.
I'm just asking him a quick question. What do you think it is about Spence that makes him
They talk about Spence more than anybody else.
A side?
I hear Spence's name from. I hear Spence's name more than I hear Crawford from the average boxing fan.
I don't.
Okay.
Go. Let's get area code 904 on.
Thank you, Raider. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for being so patient, area code 904. You're on live.
Hello?
Yep, you're on live, 904.
All right, so I was actually enjoying that little whole debate and everything, and it got me thinking. Hey, look, pound for pound, really, when it comes to numbers, it did not mean shit, bro. How much money did Rigondeaux make in his biggest fight? The most money that man made in a fight?
$1 million.
Right.
Okay.
It's no there, right?
Was he ever pound for pound though?
I thought he was.
I
thought he was probably one of the best boxers.
Was he number one pound for pound ever?
Hey, what about Chocolatito? Chocolatito. He made about $200K, and he was supposedly pound for pound number one for how long? for like 3 years,
Well,
right?
the list again. The lists are debatable for pound. We all know that they're all everybody's opinion. But
Yeah,
at
subjective.
the time that Regal beat Donaire was considered number 3 pound for pound. So I mean, some people would move him into that slot since he beat him. Some people would move him in the top 10 pound. Who knows? It all really depends.
What about Chocolatito? I mean, he never made much, right? And he was pound for pound.
It's not the end all be all, but it's a factor.
Yeah, very small factor. Look, here's something.
It
Here's
can
something
be
we
a
got.
factor.
Yeah, it can be, but look, here's something else we got to think about, guys. Although the pay-per-views, look at the pay-per-views. So, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Although Errol Spence didn't do more numbers, too many more numbers. He did more numbers on every pay-per-view. Crawford's pay-per-view that he did with Khan, it was less than every pay-per-view that Spence did. Now, although the numbers weren't substantially greater, they were greater. And another factor you really have to,
still got paid less money.
What's the problem, fam? You don't like to hear me talk?
But he still got paid less money.
But you can have the floor, Pablo, but you gotta let me talk, fam. I'll let you talk, but just let me finish my statement.
Yo, this is uncensored, Kandal.
Hey, Aplo, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let him. You are interrupting a lot. Just chill out. You get to talk, but you can't hijack the show either. All right.
We'll do this. We'll do this, guys. We'll do this. Here's what we'll do. Everybody will get their chance to speak uninterrupted, and then you can respond. Everybody can respond to everybody, but we want to get it clear so that the people that are watching can hear everything. So go ahead and finish up.
All right. So although that it's not much more money, we still have to take into account this with Crawford's one and only pay-per-view. Khan was responsible for the majority of those numbers. I mean, that's just the facts, fam. He was the draw. He was responsible for the majority of those numbers. And when we look at it, the suits, when the suits look at it, Spence is bringing in more value than Crawford. So he has to get more of the share.
I agree with that. I mean, Crawford, we can talk about how talented he is and he can be put on people's lists, but at the end of the day, those are qualitative. The quantitative evidence is the amount of tickets he sells and the amount of pay-per-views he sells. And to Dee's point, right now, that leans in Errol Spence's favor.
Nah, there's a whole other argument, but just let me know when it's my turn.
You can go as soon as whoever's done. You can go. Yeah.
You should just know, like, I don't. Haplo, I'm just gonna tell you right now, really quick. I don't want to hear like, can I go now? Is it my turn? Don't do that. Like, we're not in third grade. Just be an adult and know when you can jump in. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just wait over here.
You got a guy on here talking about Spence makes more money than Crawford. That is false. Crawford makes more money than Spence. In fact, it came out just a few days ago that every year that Bob Arum doesn't make the Spence versus Crawford fight, Crawford gets paid an extra $1 million. So not only does Crawford have a higher guarantee, despite the fact that he's maybe not your favorite fighter, but he still gets paid way more money than Spence does. And you can look up their net worths online, on Google. You can see that Crawford has a higher net worth than Spence, and don't even try it with Canelo. Okay? So what is all this crap about, the pay-per-views and, Spence is the A side and all this stuff? It's not true, bro. It's just not true. Not in terms of money. Not in terms of
you make the point. Not
in terms of pound for pound, and not in terms of skill as a pound for pound fighter.
Right on. Caller, do you want to add anything to that, bro?
Yeah.
Area code 904, you still there?
I'm still here. I'm just trying to take in this whole conversation.
We want you to chime in.
We got to keep it moving. You know, we got other callers on, so go ahead and give us any final thoughts you got.
I'm just gonna throw this out there because I know that it's gonna piss off D-Stock because he knows that he doesn't like talking about MMA around here. About the whole
okay.
When it comes to anybody talking about the pound for pound thing, like I don't want to done to the whole Errol Spence thing. But the thing is, bro, when it comes to pound for pound, it really does not matter in any kind of damn sport. And we talked about Demetrius Johnson, the person that UFC should have never gotten rid of. That man made no money. He could not draw a stick figure. No matter how skilled he was, no matter how dominant he was. If y'all ever noticed something that if you guys looked at it, every championship fight is always on pay-per-view in the UFC. You know who's wasn't? Demetrius Johnson, because he could not sell anything. They made no money off of him, so they traded him. That's why I say, like, when it comes to pound for pound, it doesn't matter because, like I said, Rigondeaux, Lomachenko, they did not make money like that. Now, I don't know the details when it comes to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford when it comes to, like, money. Who knows? He might be right that guaranteed Terrence Crawford probably makes more money, is going to make more money. That does not translate to him selling more.
It doesn't. That's a good point. It doesn't at all. I'm glad you said that because I was going to.
Let's bring on area code 306, who's been on hold.
Thank you for your call, Duval. We appreciate you.
All right, area code 386, you're up, bro. Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear.
All right, perfect. All right. Well.
Who's this?
Hold on. I need to exit this because I have an echo. Hold on 1 second.
That's Major Key. That's Glenn.
Major Key. Okay. What's up, man?
Yo, y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Because I heard an echo earlier. All right, perfect. So number one, let me piggyback. And by the way, I think StreamYard's better. But I know you guys are trialing everything right now. I think StreamYard's better, but that's just my opinion. But
you doing StreamYard, Glenn?
Hey, I'm talking, D. I always give my opinion. I don't even know how to hold that shit back, bro. My mind just works. I just say everything that comes to my mind, and there's no filter in my mind. You know what I'm saying? It just comes out. But anyway, but nevertheless, look, when it comes down to it, I think what Raider was talking about. So I have to piggyback off of Raider because I think it went to Terrence Crawford versus Spence. And I think that initially he was talking about Spence and Canelo because the original conversation from what I heard was the pay-per-view buys and the leverage and all of that, right? And why somebody's pound for pound over the other. And so my thing is that people have to remember, number one, with this dude coming back so quickly. And I heard this on another channel, so I have to give that channel credit, but I'm not going to talk about him because, I'm on a different channel, but I heard on another channel, which was facts, because I looked it up. So this dude, Canelo, came to the, Alamo Dome where there were limited seats, 12,000. He sold it out in a month. Errol Spence had a possibility of 16,000 people, right? Didn't make that amount, right, of people, right? Didn't make that amount of people, when he was actually trying to fill up the seats. Now you're talking about also Canelo deals with people overseas. This is how he was viewed in over 200 different countries. You know what I'm saying? And my bad, I got my girl here with her friend, real high and shit and just acting silly when I'm trying to talk on her live. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize if your gear goes in the background. But nevertheless, you know how that should be, right? So anyway, so you talking about 200 people, 200 different countries, and then you got this dude that's only in America. And I was debating people earlier. It's not that Errol Spence doesn't deserve that. It's that the promotional company, unfortunately, that he's under, which is PBC and Al Heyman, they're focused on just national. They're just focused in America, and there's more to gain. And the reason that I had this discussion in this whole debate, just to give you a preface on that, was because we were talking about how much you can shorten the pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? Like, should it be $20, $30 instead of $79.99 for every fight? You know what I mean? Like, and that's where it started from. And I was debating these people about that. You know what I mean? And I think that the pay-per-views right now, Bob Arum, as crooked as he is and as old school as he is, You know what I mean? He had a great idea when he said that we should start lowering the amount because people can't afford it. Otherwise, what are we even talking about when it comes to stimulus package?
Yeah, I heard an interview with him where he was actually saying that lowering the price drives higher numbers in terms of purchases, but only if it's not a major fight. He said that if it's a major fight, people buy it regardless of whether it's $50 or $60 or $70 or $80. I heard him say that in an interview last week. So he says, yeah, for the...
But now we have the numbers, though. And is that really true like it is back in the days? Because back in the days, it used to be like that. But before, that's pre-COVID. And we're living in a time where you got to think about that. It's pre-COVID. So yeah, it used to be like that. No, me, myself, I'll just buy it. You know what I'm saying? My boy would buy it. He's casual. He knows that. He doesn't know shit about boxing. He calls me all the time to find out what's going on. But most casuals, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? We're here because we love the sport of boxing. That's why we're talking about it. Thanks. So we would pay for it. You know what I'm saying? We would pay for it, but the average person needs to second guess about, am I going to my friend's house? I'll just bring a couple beers and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. You know what I mean?
Right. Anybody want to respond to Major Key on any of the points he's made?
We appreciate the feedback about the phone lines, but we're gonna try a feature where we can get people, like multiple people, like on one show. Like we'll get 30 people, like boom, 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 boom. We can't do that on StreamYard. That's why we're doing that. There's also a lot of weird trolls around here when it comes to StreamYard. That's all.
Yeah, that's the thing with dropping links.
I was just wondering, I was like, oh shit, man, like that, because it just felt a little weird, you know what I'm saying? I was like hearing my echo and shit like that, but if you got a strategy in place, I know you're trial and error right now, so I got you, bro. I believe in the core.
And Major Key, you got my email too, man. So you could just email me if you feel more comfortable StreamYard, brother. But we appreciate you, man. We got other calls, Maestro.
Yeah, we do. We've got area code 916 with us now. Area code 916.
That should be my boy, Black and Brown. That should be my boy.
What up, fellas?
Good to hear you, fam. How's it going?
Yeah, this Black and Brown, right?
Hey, D-Star, I know how it works this time, so I'm gonna be in and out.
All right. We don't have the rules like Raw Boxing, though. We don't have those rules.
Fruit Ridge in the house.
Okay, so real
Irons
quick,
in the back. What's up?
Yeah, somebody got major fire ambulance or something going on. So real quick, I know everyone's saying that Spence has passed Canelo, right? And if he has, then that's perfectly fine. I have no issues with Spence being a bigger draw than Canelo or pulling in more money. If that's the truth, then I'm fine with that. I don't give a damn who is or who isn't, right? But it just seems like the argument or they're missing points of the situation. They're focusing on maybe the last fight, and they're missing the point that it was in Dallas, Spence's hometown. In the middle of a pandemic, you're leaving out the fact that you had Danny Garcia as an opponent. He's bringing his own fan base to the show. Callum Smith can't bring no fan base to the show because he's a foreigner. You know what I mean? So he can't get no fans in the building. So I just think it's an unfair argument, and they're using it at the right time to fit their argument that Spence is bringing more fans to the venue than Canelo. Everything fits their argument. So to me, it's a flawed argument, and it doesn't make very much sense to me, guys. But great show. I'm gonna keep listening, man. I'm out.
And that's the 916.
916 in the house.
That's right. 916 and 915. That's HCP territory. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right. HCP. You guys know HCP Northern Cali is deep. You guys should know that by now, man. We got HCP NorCal on the phone. We got HCP NorCal on the panel. Man, we deep out here, baby. But I think.
What's up, Raw Boxing?
How you doing? How you guys doing?
Good, fam. Good, fam.
HCP in the house. What's up?
HCP in the his A. It's the his A.
What up, Raw?
Just call a little bit to show the support, man. Same support you guys show me. You know how
Absolutely,
it is.
Man. You want to chime in on this, man? I know you talked a little bit about it yesterday, but you can chime in, man.
What's the topic right now? Because I had tuned out for a little bit to catch
Well,
up.
let me tell you this, Raw. If I were to tell you that Errol Spence is a bigger star and a bigger draw than Saul Canelo Alvarez, because in their last fight, the gate did a little more for Errol Spence, you would say what?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I agree with
Look,
that.
man, there's several factors, like I said yesterday on my live, to consider, and this is not hating on Spence. If you're an emotional attached Spence fan, then you might take it as hate, but it isn't the case at all. Look, when you consider the fact that one of the main facts here is Spence pay-per-view counts are literal pay-per-view counts. Canelo counts are a mixture of pay-per-views and subscriptions that are not counted as pay-per-views. And dare I say, most of the people that tune in to watch Canelo are subscribed to DAZN because it is a better option. It is a cheaper option in some, up to a certain extent, because of the way that you have a monthly subscription instead of a one-time payment of however the fights are going for. And so when you take a look at the fact that, yes, Spence did quote-unquote better numbers on pay-per-view, Canelo wasn't that far off, and then that's not counting the fact that Canelo is partial pay-per-view, partial subscription, and that there was that financial option that are still not counted because they cannot be counted until they're fully paid, and it's a payment installment, I think, of a 4-month installment. That right there should tell you that no, Errol Spence is not a bigger draw. And then also consider the fact that the Canelo Smith fight, in comparison to the Garcia Spence fight, the time that it took to cook both of those fights is so different because Spence had a lot more time to cook that fight than Canelo did. Now, when you take those two things into consideration, maybe you'll see the reasons as to why the numbers are like that. And if you run it with common sense, then maybe you'll understand it. If you run it with emotions, I feel very sorry for you because you're going to live a very sad life, you know? You're going to constantly be pissed off. You're not going to enjoy the fact that as of now, Earl did brought in a little more numbers. And the joy, whatever little joy, might not last that long. We have to wait what happens and see what happens now with the new Canelo fight, you know? And another thing, Earl fought in his hometown, not Canelo.
Well,
Not
Ranger,
Canelo at all.
Ranger, I brought this up earlier. According to the numbers, if we go by this, Tim Tsz유's leading the world in boxing right now.
That is correct.
He's drawn bigger numbers than anybody else in terms of stadium fights. So, I mean, is that what we're going on?
No, not really. And it shouldn't be because of, look at the situations around the world when it comes to all of the pandemics and different places allowing a different amount of people's in. Some places are allowing some in, others are allowing more than others. So right now, it's not even a fair thing to say this guy's leading the numbers in count, this guy's leading the numbers in gate tickets, because everything is subjective to whatever regulations are taking place wherever the fights are taking place. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
But you got to take also into consideration that to say Errol Spence is the new pay-per-view king shows how desperate people are, or those people are, for that to actually be a literal continuous thing. That they take advantage of the most stupid things to say, this is the pay-per-view king. And congratulations, but I don't think it's going to last that long, you know? But if it does, at the end of the day, my wallet's still going to be the same. My bills are not going to go any cheaper. They're going to stay the same, maybe more if I spend more. So, yeah, we got to take this. We got to take this also with a lot of common sense. I mean, come on, guys. We're not high school kids. We're not freshmen in high school. You know what I mean? We're not. We're grown folk around here. And all these people gotta go back, remember their days of math, common sense, sociology, all of those things, put them in together. And be a normal human being analyzing things instead of running everything through emotions and race baiting or any of those things like that. You know what I mean? It's yes, congratulations to Earl Spence. He did very good. But there was also that one factor that I mentioned yesterday. Curiosity killed the cat. Can we all agree on that? Right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Earl Spence, what was the curiosity? Will he be able to come back against Danny without taking a tune-up fight? Will he be able to take the hard counterpunch overhand right? So everybody wanted to tune in and see that. On top of that, you add the fact that they have plenty of time to cook the fight. You add all of those factors together, and yes, I can see why he brought in more numbers. That's not unfair at all, you know?
Absolutely, man. And I think you made a good point, man, about how these guys are desperate for something, you know, because they're the things that they've been pushing for. And I want to make this clear again. Like I said at the beginning, man, this is not to bash Earl Spence or anything like that. Like, I like Earl Spence. I'm glad he's doing good numbers, man, because the more stars in boxing, the better, you know. But these guys have just took it way too far, man. Any of you guys want to respond to Raw Boxing before we get into the next call?
Yeah, I think he was spot on. I mean, when I jumped on here, I was just going at the Crawford situation, but no way, no day do I believe, you know. That's just something like these Spence fanatics jump on little dumb shit like that. Like, bro, I don't care what kind of points Fanon or Blue Blood or whoever the fuck brought this silliness up about Crawford and Spence. Like, with that is no comparison to me. Like, it's not even. I don't care what Spence's pay-per-view numbers say. When we start talking about Canelo, that's just idiotic. There's no comparison. To speak of Crawford, that's different. But Canelo, it's only one person rivaling that dude in boxing, and that's Anthony Joshua. Outside of that, nobody's even close.
Agreed.
Yep. Anybody else?
I will say this before I tune out, man.
Yeah, man. I just want to say shout out to Raw Boxing. That's all.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
shout out to
you guys that are watching or in the chat,
Just before
subscribe.
I want to say this, man. You know, I just want to say this before we tune out because I'm about to catch a movie with the lady here, much needed, a couple times. I got to be real on this, and this is not acting cocky or nothing. When I posted on the comment, you know, that we are the new narrative death row squad, and I meant that because sometimes when a dog barks behind a fence, he may seem tough until another dog comes into the fence, into the same backyard. Then all of a sudden you start seeing how the tone of the barking drops a bit, right? Why do I say that? All of these people kept talking about us. Now that we have an open platform, a literal open platform, uncensored, somebody not mediating, nobody getting blocked, nobody getting muted, no way out. Don't hear the Chihuahua barking anymore. They're a bit quiet, right?
Facts only.
For the past, you guys are a witness that for the past 3 lives, and I've done my last 3 lives have been very long. A 5-hour one, a 3-hour one, and a 2-hour and 45-minute one. So that right there, all of my lives have been entirely open. I've been dropping the link 7, 8, 9 times, right? Nobody has been coming in. None of those so-called big channels, and 2 of them watch my show for a fact. Watch my show. Okay? They have had the opportunity to come in and give me that so-called famous smoke. They have had the opportunity to give you guys the so-called famous smoke. Okay? But they're not doing it. What does that mean? That means the Hispanics are causing panic. And anybody, whether you're Hispanic or not, if you roll with HCP, you're also causing panic. Even if you're Chinese or from Pluto, I don't give a damn. Okay, so as long as we keep it true, as long as we keep it centered, full of common sense, logical, as unbiased as possible, we're gonna keep causing panic. And that's all I gotta say. HCP, I'm out.
Saludos. Thank you.
Well said,
right,
Ron. well said, Raw Boxing, because I know how you feel, brother. I call them out all the time. Fanon, you idiot. BFTB, I call them out all the time. They don't want to show up. They don't want this smoke, man.
Oh,
That's
we got
right.
code 904 on the line. Been patient.
Hey, my bros, real quick before you guys get that call, I gotta dip out because I gotta go with the lady
All right,
somewhere.
bro.
Hey, you guys,
All
thank
right,
you, D Jefferson, thank you, D Style, thank you,
That's just no
Guy,
problem.
and thank you, G Funky. You guys have a good one, all right? And Haplo,
No
have
problem,
a good
man.
one, brother.
You know
You too, bro.
HCP, man. You know your familia around here, man. So anytime,
Oh man, thank you, brother.
And look,
Have a good one.
anybody want to get this get on this little hook right here? You're more than welcome to, man. The number's scrolling at the bottom. You guys got my email, gfunky84boxing@gmail. Either way you want to do it, man, we can do it. We're here. We're not afraid of anybody. So go ahead and take the call, Milcar.
Yeah, we got area code 904 on the line. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, yo, so I'm going to make this quick because the last conversation, I got lost because I thought this was about the Canelo Spence thing. I did want to bring something up because you guys were, I don't remember who it was, brought up the whole stadium situation with the pandemic. Now, my thing is with PBC, like, y'all already know that, like, they can't really put, they don't, like, when's the last time PBC really put, like, a card in, like, a huge stadium? Like, was the Spence Mikey Garcia fight, like, was that that was a PBC fight, correct?
Yes, sir.
But here, my thing is this: like, how many people did Canelo put in that stadium when he fought against
Smith?
God damn, I forgot. Yeah,
Liam Smith? Yeah, that was 51,000 people.
No, I mean, I'm talking about Canelo's last fight. How many people did he put in that stadium?
Oh, I believe they were allowed to put 12,000.
Okay, my thing is that on limited seating, Canelo is still pulling in more than a PBC fight when there were actually crowds there. That's rivaling it, and it's limited. I don't know if that might have anything to do with it. Like maybe I'm just lost or something like that. Maybe it's just a train of thought for myself. But I'm just saying that like Canelo, even on limited stuff, is still pulling in more crowds than when PBC was running regular pay-per-views and fights back when we didn't have this pandemic, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good point. I don't know. That's up to you.
No, that's a valid point. That's a very valid point.
Yeah, that's my thing. That like he had limited seating and he was still pulling in more crowds than when PBC actually allowed crowds to actually be there. Like I don't know where this notion came from because I also don't understand the zone because my friend loaned it to me, so I don't know how like the pay structure works. But yeah, it's probably like the thing that people they probably do that subscription. Like there's that Earl Spence is above Canelo. Like you couldn't convince me.
Yeah, it's.
Like I said, you could have Canelo fight. You could have Canelo fight a bum, and he will still do numbers.
Yeah. Well, see, Carla, this is the thing, and this is what I tell a lot of people that I talk to. These guys, like the way you just broke that down, these guys that create these narratives is why I tell people they do know boxing. People always run around and say, "Oh, they don't know shit about boxing." Listen here, to create these elaborate narratives, they know everything you just said. They know that, but it sounds believable to the people that, like Raw Boxing was saying, that approach these things in their feelings. It sounds believable. Yeah, that's right. Look, Spence did these numbers because they don't want to, or even they're not gonna dig like we dig so that we can. Debunk their bullshit. They're not even going to dig. They're just so quick to believe. You got to understand, a lot of these people that come to our channels, even their channels, they're coming to us to get the information because they don't go out there and get the information. So it sounds believable. But the guys that create these elaborate narratives, they do know boxing. They know everything you just broke down. So what they're trying to do is figure out a way to put this narrative out to maneuver around those facts, right? And that's what they do.
I think what it is too, D, is they have each identified groups that they want to pander to. Because that's people want to listen to you. They want to listen to D-Style. They want to listen to G-Funky as much for the info, but also for the analysis, right? They want people to connect the dots and, produce information that maybe they hadn't thought about in a certain way. But what they purposely do is misconstrue facts, invent information, and then present it in a very dumbed down form as clickbait. And that's essentially what it is. They're whoring themselves out for clicks. That's what it is.
And also, Emil, let me add to it. It's something that's been going on in this country, around the world, really, for years. It's suggestive journalism, fam. Suggestive journalism. It's the same thing that the news does, right? They take the facts, they misconstrue them to create a narrative. It's suggestive journalism at every angle, and this is what they're doing.
MSNBC does it to pander to coastal liberals, and Fox News does it to pander to conservatives in the South and in the Midwest. It's cyclical.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You got. I want to because we got 719 on hold waiting to chime in here.
I got you. I'm just gonna say this right now. Nobody could tell me that Errol Spence is a bigger draw than Canelo. If that fight would have happened, Canelo better be taking 70-30 on that fight.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for your call.
Because like I said, the last fight I watched with Errol Spence Jr., where I actually took my time out and be like, damn, you know what? I'm gonna take my day off and everything, plan around it, was when he fought, what was it, Mike Garcia. Because it felt like a big fight, but the thing was that I didn't pay for it. I wasn't convinced. Like, I'm a boxing whore, but the thing is, I'm like, dude, like, this still. First off, it was expensive, and then that was like the fight wasn't even. I don't know, man. It's just that there's no way you can tell me. Like I said, Canelo will get my money no matter who he fights. If he were to fight D-Style, I would probably pay for that.
Whoa!
Oh man, that would be ugly.
I want a good amount of change, man. But I appreciate it.
My man D-Style put in some work that night. I tell you that. But thank you for your call, man. I want to add something here to the show. A little something extra that we could talk about with some of the callers here is these same channels that come on here and talk so much shit about Canelo, yet the guys that they support come out and speak against these narratives, right? Just like I said, a couple weeks ago, we had Jermell Charlo come out and say Gate's bullshit. Now, his brother, Jermell, says this. Check this out.
Canelo ain't no weak-ass fighter. Nigga, I'm tired of people thinking that. Canelo can fight and he can put up a fight. Quit adding me on y'all Canelo Drake, nigga. Add somebody else, nigga. I'm 154, nigga. I can't put y'all fucking minds to think that I'm not the 60 champion. I want to separate myself. This year is be the final year. I try to look for separation from our twin brother.
It's a good point.
Woo.
Yo, the Charlos doing the damn thing, bro.
The Charlos are killing narratives, bro. They're killing the narratives for us, man.
Man, he's the one holding the crowbar. He's the one holding the crowbar in the picture.
That's right, man.
719. We got 719 on the line right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
719.
Yeah, what's up, man? It's the Brotherhood. Yeah.
Brotherhood.
What's up, man? Thanks for calling in.
Talk to us.
Yeah, man. I mean, y'all can't really get mad at the people that saying that Spence is a bigger draw than Canelo, because they're using the only numbers that we got available to us to come to that conclusion. Why? Because Canelo and DAZN don't release Canelo numbers, do they? They don't release anybody numbers. So what the fuck else are people supposed to base it off of at this point?
Hey, Brotherhood, they sold the same amount of pay-per-views. Are you telling me 0 people watched it on the app? You can't reasonably say that more people saw it there?
You said they sold the same amount of pay-per-views?
The same amount of pay-per-views, even though Canelo's fight was also available on the app, the DAZN app.
Where are these numbers coming from? Because DAZN, this last time I checked, DAZN doesn't release numbers.
I can answer that question. The numbers, the DAZN pay-per-views are coming from the same people that release all of the other pay-per-view numbers, because what they decided to do with the last Canelo fight was to put it in multiple streams. So they put it into the DAZN app, right, for people like us who can get on the internet and know how to use a computer or a cell phone or a tablet. And then they also sold it through the more traditional, conventional cable and satellite operators. And that's where the numbers that D-Style is talking about are coming from.
And the satellite cable providers have to release those numbers because they're all publicly traded companies. So they have to accurately, give out the numbers.
Tell me where are y'all getting these numbers? It's a simple.
Well, where did you get the Spence numbers from? Where'd you get the Spence numbers?
You answering my question with a question.
No. He literally just answered your question. He literally told you the same place we got the Spence numbers from. You said that we could only go by the numbers that are out there.
Tell me where. I'm asking you a legitimate question. I don't fucking know. I want y'all to tell me so I can go look it up myself. Y'all fucking getting defensive as hell.
You're asking me like where the numbers are? Like are you asking for an article? No one's getting defensive. I'm getting passionate.
I'm asking you what.
I can answer that question.
Jesus Christ.
I can answer the question. So when pay-per-view numbers are released, they're usually released through publicists, all right, and through PR for the specific promoters and networks. Because when the numbers aren't that good, they're not in a rush to release them. All right. So that's who releases them. You can find them through the AP, Associated Press. You can find them through routers. You can find them through all of the traditional news outlets. You can go to Google.
I'm sure. Wait. Before you go there. I understand where they come from usually. I'm trying to ask you where they come from for this Canelo versus Smith fight.
All right, look, brotherhood, I got you, brotherhood. I got you, brotherhood.
I'm gonna post a link in the chat.
Hold on, I got you, brotherhood. Look. Here's one good source for you that you can always get those type of numbers from, brotherhood. You can go to sportstech.com to get those numbers for the cable providers. Another place that you can go, brotherhood, you can go to Fight Sports TV to get numbers for cable providers. Those are two valid sources you can go to, brotherhood. Why don't you go Google it, brother? Because just like those guys told you, when there are certain numbers that come out from publicly traded companies, because they have people that invest, they have to give the accurate data. If they don't, they could be put in the federal penitentiary for FDC violations, brotherhood. You could go check all that up too, if you want to. I could send you the direction to check that information too if you like.
Can I say this really quick? Brotherhood, if you're subscribed to me, you should already know that's how I talk. Okay, that's number one. Number two, okay, I put the link in the chat for you. I did the search for you. Now, let's go back to your original point. You said you can't get mad. Number one, nobody's mad. Okay, we're just pointing out the inaccuracies. Back to your original question. Okay, you said we could only go by the numbers that are out there. That's what you said, right? So when it comes to the pay-per-view numbers, Canelo sold roughly the same amount that Errol Spence sold, even though it's also available on the DAZN. So unless literally nobody watches it on the DAZN, right, there would be equal or the same. But we know plenty of people saw it on the DAZN, right? That's where I saw it. So I just want to know now that we provided you with a link, it's in the chat and you can look at the numbers and all that. Is it fair to say that more people saw the Canelo fight than the Spence fight?
Now tell me this. Y'all said all of these numbers come from the same source, right? Now, when the same source tells you that Spence versus Garcia do 360K. Y'all believe this source, like Mike Coppinger and stuff like that? Y'all believe the source that tells you that?
Well, what happens usually with Mike Coppinger is he is releasing early data before it's officially released. So he's trying to scoop everybody and be the first to report numbers. But what D-Style's saying is...
don't dodge my question, in other words.
Yeah, he did answer a question with a question, like he said he didn't want us to do.
Okay. Anyways, what I was saying was that what D-Style was referring to were the final official numbers. What Coppinger usually does is he's got a contact that can give him the numbers before they've been officially released. So That's kind of the difference there.
And I'm asking. The only reason I asked that because I'm reading it right now. I'm on the website. It says the fight generated around 20 million in pay-per-view revenue if, keyword if, the 300,000 buy count is accurate. So we working off of if right now.
Actually, most of the reports say 250, right? So it didn't reach the 300,000, right? Let's assume it didn't do that. Let's say it did the same, 250,000. That's not my point. My point, even if it just did 200,000, my point is that you can't make a reasonable assumption and say to yourself, you know what? A bunch of people watched it on the zone because it's a lot cheaper than buying the fight.
I mean, my whole point is it seems like we coming up both sides of the the argument are coming up with a whole bunch of fucking assumptions or definites based on maybes. Like I don't understand it.
Okay,
so,
brother, let me just flat out ask you, bro. Can I ask you?
Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Just let me finish. If these numbers are the same, like basically Spence did around 300K or 250K, and Canelo did the same 250 to 300K, and they seats was just what 2,000 away from each other. Spence was a little higher with the ticket sales. I mean, the conclusion we have to come to is they about the same when it comes to the drawing power. So I think both of y'all arguments is pretty much dead in the water. Like Spence ain't big. Okay. Spence right now. Like
if you only understood how ridiculous that sounds, you wouldn't have said that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, like seriously, you're not going to count the zone subscribers.
But I gotta go. I gotta say peace to everybody. Salute to the panel. Everybody.
All right, peace out.
Peace
out.
Yeah,
thank you, Apple. Appreciate you, man.
Peace out. All right, bro.
A completely ridiculous argument.
I mean, like I said, so all of these numbers from Canelo fights on the zone is on the same website.
No. Like as far as are you telling me nobody saw it on the app? Like let me ask you this, brother. Like it's just a common sense question. Do you think more people paid $70 or whatever it costs for the fight, or $20 for the app? Like, what does common sense tell you? How did most people watch it? Would they pay more or less?
What you mean common sense? There ain't no common sense because we working off of ifs and maybes. That's my whole fucking
point. But brotherhood. I gave you 3 different sides, man. Wait.
I'm not the person that even coming to a conclusion off of this bullshit.
Brotherhood.
I think this whole argument is stupid as fuck. Who cares?
If you go to the store and there's a 12-pack of beer, the same brand of beer, on one shelf it's $30, on the other shelf it's $10. Which one's gonna fly off the shelves first? It's common sense, dude. Come on.
$10 beer.
It makes sense to me.
If we taking these numbers as fact, then I guess the same amount of people bought the Spence fight that bought the Canelo fight, no matter what the fucking price was. So what are y'all talking about?
No. That's not.
I don't understand this whole argument, bro.
Brotherhood, that's not what we're saying.
I'm not saying nobody bigger than anybody. I'm just saying like y'all. This whole argument is stupid as fuck because it's based off of ifs. Like it
but brotherhood. Brotherhood.
Hey,
brotherhood.
I'm gonna just get off and let y'all finish because y'all keep cutting me off.
No. I just want to say that that's not the point we're making. I mean, we understand that they sold the same amount, $250 each. But what we're saying is that people also watched it on the zone, and you're not counting that. Is he still there?
Also watched it on the zone. So what is these numbers? These numbers is not based on the zone.
No, they're based on the pay-per-view. Okay. Let me catch this. Let me catch this real quick. Brotherhood, the numbers that you're talking about that's even are pay-per-view numbers. And then one other thing you said, we're getting it from one place. I gave you 3 different sources, fam. I said Fight Sports TV, I said Ring TV, and then I gave you sportstech.com. That's 3 different sources. But also what you're neglecting now you cut me off. Chill out, brotherhood. Because what you're neglecting to acknowledge is the zone numbers. If they sold the same as far as pay-per-view numbers, what about the 200,000 to 300,000 and the zone numbers? Those are more views, fam. And you're just neglecting that. You're not even mentioning it.
No, I don't, bro. Y'all haven't explained that to me. But, bro, look, hold on. Where else was this fight shown besides the zone? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
But brother,
it was shown on cable networks for pay-per-view.
D, let me repeat what I had said earlier. So look, this was the first time that the zone had decided to broadcast a fight using traditional pay-per-view distribution, right? In the past, you could only watch the zone fights if you watch it on your cell phone, on the computer, on your PS3, whatever, right? This was the first time they said, look, you got a lot of people that are not tech savvy. You got a lot of people that don't know how to use anything other than a cable or satellite box. So we're going to also sell it as pay-per-views, right? All of the numbers that they're talking about are just the pay-per-view numbers. They're not talking about the people that watch it on Xbox, on Roku, on Apple TV, on their cell phones, on their laptops, on the computers, etc. Right? They're just talking about the pay-per-view numbers. And this was the first time that DAZN had decided to release one of their fights through regular pay-per-view.
So that goes back to my same question. What other network did the views come on? It's still fucking DAZN. It's all DAZN app, right? Like, why wouldn't they count? So you telling me they're not counting everything that come off of devices? They only
they didn't count the devices. They didn't count Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, anything. Wait.
I understand it. So what's the main device people? What network were people watching it on? Then?
Can I say something, brother? Do you have a cable network in your area?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. You said satellite.
Yeah.
No, I think I got it. I think I could explain it to him. Let me put it to you this way, Brotherhood. Okay? Are you familiar with Netflix? Brotherhood.
Come on, man.
No. Okay, so I don't know. Like my older brother doesn't know shit about Netflix. I'm just asking. You know what I mean? But like, okay, so Netflix. You know how you could stream a movie there, right? Okay. If that same movie was being sold on pay-per-view, like with Comcast or Dish or DirecTV, and somebody came out and said, "Man, 200,000 people bought this movie on pay-per-view," right? It doesn't mean that's not counting the ones watching it on Netflix. That's just the people that bought it on pay-per-view. Okay, now just replace Netflix with DAZN.
Where was the fucking pay-per-view?
It was on
Oh my God!
It was on Dish Network. It was on DirecTV. I'm in New York.
Xfinity.
It was on cable. It was on Optimum. It was on Verizon. It was sold as a regular pay-per-view.
And on what, like, on a specific channel? I'm really trying to understand what the fuck going on.
It's on your whatever channel is pay-per-view on your cable provider. That's where it was at that night.
Dog,
it's Showtime got pay. Showtime has their pay-per-views on Showtime. You know what I'm saying? HBO had their pay-per-views on HBO.
No,
so DAZN has their pay-per-views on what? It's just a solo thing.
It's like Netflix, bro. Like the Canelo fight was on Netflix and on pay-per-view, both. Okay, that's what it is. You ever bought a pay-per-view movie? Have you ever done that before?
Bro.
That's
literally what it is, bro.
That's where you would find it. If you were to order a movie.
It's just a standalone thing where they like create a new channel for it or something like that.
No.
I think brother it's trolling us or something, bro. That's what I think.
Bro, he don't want to understand because look, it's some things that people they just don't want to understand. Listen, it's just this simple.
Kill me with that psychology shit, man.
I'm just saying, look, brotherhood. Okay, let me try this. Let me try this way, guys. Let me try this.
We love the brotherhood. We love him. Go ahead, D.
If you buy, okay, let's forget about DAZN right quick. Let's just take DAZN out of the picture for a second here. When they have pay-per-views, it could be a WWE fucking event. if I have what we have here, a cable provider here, we have WOW and we have what's the other one, babe? WOW and just say Comcast. Those are 2 cable providers. If there is a pay-per-view on, if it was WWE, UFC, boxing, when you turn on your television, you can go to the channel on your cable provider that says pay-per-view, and it'll say, hey, Canelo fight, which means you can purchase the Canelo fight right there through your service provider. But, Brotherhood, you can also watch it on DAZN, which means there are 2 different sources. Now, you might not have WOW or Comcast in your area, but you do have a cable provider, and they would have the fight as well. And DAZN would have the fight as well. Do you get it?
So when I asked y'all, do they have just a standalone channel that you could purchase that fight on? That was going in the right direction. So why did y'all just laugh at me when I asked you that?
I think what people understood was that DAZN had its own specific DAZN channel on these operators, and no, there's like a range of pay-per-view channels that show different events. But
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's something I did like way back in the fucking 90s, bro. Like I ain't had cable since motherfucking since like 2010 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? This is not something I fucking with. I really understand what the fuck was going on, but y'all think I'm trolling. Y'all
no. So in other words,
like y'all crazy as fuck.
No, it's good. It's all good. It's all good. But this is the deal, bro.
I'm really trying to understand where these numbers coming from.
No. It can, like, in other words, like, let me say this really quick. The reason they have the pay-per-view option, and the reason DAZN decided to also, okay, like on the side, not counting the ones that watch it on DAZN, is for people like you thought I was trolling you when I asked about Netflix. Like, a lot of my uncles don't know what the hell Netflix is and all that. Like, they don't have internet or any of that, okay? So there's people that need to, like, that's the only way they could watch Canelo. Or if you live in the middle of a farm, you can't stream in the middle of a farm. But you could have satellite TV. You know what I mean? You could have cable, and you could order the fight that way. So that's the only reason they have the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and Brotherhood, we appreciate your call, man.
And look, I don't know about that shit. I'm only know pay-per-view fights being on Showtime, HBO, and if it's something different than that, that's fucking new to me. That's why I'm asking y'all. But so, you know what I'm saying? If that's where the numbers came from and they didn't even count the DAZN subscriptions, then, well, shit, obviously Canelo probably did way more than. So that's
we got you.
We got to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we got you, Brotherhood. We appreciate your call, man. Next week we'll try to do this again, man. But Amilcar, who has the phone line for us, he's over in New York City in the Bronx, to be a matter of fact, right across from Yankee Stadium. So it's getting late for him. He's got to roll out. But we appreciate your call, man. You know you're welcome anytime, Brotherhood.
But wait a minute. It's still a stupid fucking argument based on this article that y'all showing me saying if it's 300,000. So we don't know if it's fucking 100,000 or 300,000 because the word if is right there. So it's still a stupid fucking argument. I don't know why people even worried about this. So making any narratives around it. But all right, I'll let y'all go. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Anytime, brother. Amilcar, I want to thank you, man, for giving your time. I know it's late over there. This is a cool feature, man. We're gonna try to incorporate this as much as we can, man.
Yeah, we'll do it again. And apologies for the beginning. We just had to work out the tech. It was a last minute thing, but pleasure to be on here. And I hope people join me for my streams as well. So thank you guys, and I'll see you later.
Subscribe. You see his name right there on the screen. Maestro on YouTube. You can find him there. Subscribe to his channel. Do it now. Okay.
The link's in the chat, guys.
Thank you, Amilcar. We appreciate you, man.
Of course, brother. You take care.
All right, guys. That was fun, man. That was a cool.
You know what? That is cool. Like, because you can get people in and out. Like, you know what I mean? It's I like it. Roundtable tomorrow, by the way. We're gonna open the phone line, so
absolutely.
It's gonna be drive-through style. You guys are gonna call in, tell us what you got to say, and then keep it moving. But I have a lot to say about Bruce Lee. I know a lot of people get sensitive about Bruce Lee, but hey. And people are asking me, but D-Style, why are you going to talk about that though? Because Plant stunk up the joint, and there's no, so I'm not going to keep talking about that, and there's no fight this weekend.
Absolutely. I want to play this clip one more time. We'll talk about it, and then that'll end the show, but I want to play this one more time.
Canelo ain't no weak ass fighter, nigga. I'm tired of people thinking that Canelo can fight and he can put up a fight. Quit adding me on y'all Canelo Drake, nigga. Add somebody else, nigga. I'm 154, nigga. I cannot put y'all fucking minds to think that I'm not the 60 champion. I want to separate myself. This year is be the final year. I try to look for separation from my twin brother.
I want to say this, man, to all the guys out there that praise Charlo, and look, we like that. We love Jermell Charlo. He's the truth at 154, man. But these same guys who also love him, they love to trash Canelo and talk trash about Canelo. And he comes on and says, "I'm tired of hearing that. Tired of hearing about it." But what I really liked about it too was the fact that he's saying, "I want to separate myself from my brother." I think he's already done a good job of that. But I like that. He wants to build his own legacy. I really, really like that. I really like that, man. D, you want to go ahead? D Jefferson, that is. I know I got two D's here, but D Jefferson.
No doubt, bro. I think that now Jermell has been my guy anyway. He's one of my top 5 fighters. But Jermell Charlo and these guys, look, what they're doing and saying outside of the ring, I think that like these guys are in the streets, right? So guys that's like from the streets and in the streets, they don't like to be associated with a lot of bullshit, fake shit. And I think that that's starting to burn the Charlos up because they can see a lot of the fake shit around them. You know what I mean? And again, they're street guys. So they kind of like, I don't think they want to be attached to that anymore. So they just coming out real. They coming out raw. And I like it. I like it.
Me too, man. D-Style, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, in terms of what Jermell said, I like it. I mean, basically what he's saying is, like, in a nutshell, he don't want to clout chase anybody. You know what I mean? He wants to build his own shit. He's almost there. He's almost undisputed. I mean, this is the Charlo with a loss, by the way, to show you guys that it's okay to lose because you could come back. You could avenge the loss. You could improve as a fighter, which I believe he showed me a lot of improvement in the second Harrison fight. Sometimes a loss could be a blessing in that way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So here he is. He came back. I mean, he beat Rosado in impressive fashion, and credit where credit is due. Like, and by the way, just for the record, I'm not one of those guys that just because somebody said something that I agree with, all of a sudden I'm praising the guy. No, we've been saying this. The receipts are like, we've been saying this about Jermell, okay, for a while now. You know what I mean? Like, just because Jermell said what he said about Glovegate, it doesn't mean like all of a sudden I'm going to pretend, oh, hey guys, he does have a great resume. Canelo has been ducking him. Like, I'm not going to start saying that all of a sudden. But that's not what this is about. And I do want to say this about, again, I got to go back to this, man, okay? Look, my beefs aren't y'all's beefs. Like, everyone has their own beefs and all that, and that's cool. We allow anybody here to talk and all that. So I just want to make that clear, okay? I don't have any personal beef with any individual on here, okay? I'm just making that clear. What I have beef with are the narratives that are being pushed out there. And that's what I'm speaking out against. Now, at the end of the day, look, like I said at the beginning of the video, right? You don't see me crying like when people say the shit they say about Canelo all day, because I get it. Look, at the end of the day, what's going to get you more views? Talking about Jermell Charlo and what he should do at 160, or adding Canelo's name to the mix? Of course, adding Canelo's name is going to help out, with the narrative. So hey, if it's helping to make bread, do what you got to do. But it's not my responsibility to go along with it. Okay, if I see bullshit, I'm going to call the bullshit out. Since for over, I think it's been over a year now, or it's going to be a year now, G-Funky, that we've been speaking out against Glovegate. From day one, we did it. Okay, from day one. This is not a come lately, and I got the receipts too. Okay. So we've been speaking out against that. Our opinion, our perspective, we've been presenting that, okay? So that's all I got to say about that. Shout out to Jermell. He kept it real.
Yes, he did. He did, man. And like I said, for me, I liked it more when he said, "This is the year I officially want to separate myself from my brother." And no disrespect to his brother, obviously, but he wants to build his own fucking legacy, you know, and that's what he's doing. And he's doing a fucking great job at it. He's one belt away from undisputed, you know. So, props to Jermell Charlo, man. D, you want to add anything to that, man? D Jefferson.
Yo, I would just say this, Jermell. I don't think he has to worry about separating himself from his brother too much. His brother need to start worrying about catching up, because Jermell is the premier Charlo. He's the premier Charlo. Jamal needs to catch up to Jermell.
Yeah, I agree with that, man, for real. And you know, it's unfortunate for these guys that create these narratives. These guys are chopping them down for us, you know. And it's fun seeing it, man, because we know what the deal is. But the thing is this: a lot of the fans will go to these guys who create these things and follow it, believe it, get people to believe in it, other casuals, and it's just not healthy for the sport, man. It's just not. That's the way I'm looking at it, man. We want to put boxing back where it used to be in the 80s, in the 90s, where it was a thing. It was a big event for the fights to come on Saturdays, and people were watching. You know what I'm saying? When people create things like this, man, it just doesn't bring people to the sport, man. It just doesn't. You know. I want to thank everybody that came on the panel, everyone that called in, everybody that watched tonight. I want to say this before we wrap it up. I'm gonna go around and get final thoughts from my homeboys here. Friday night on D Style Boxing here on YouTube. 1 year of HCP. We'll be celebrating. We want everybody who's ever joined us on the panel, who's ever co-hosted with us, to come on and talk with us for a little bit. You know, we're just going to talk about some of the old shows and whatnot, but we want you guys to be there. All right. So make sure that you're there Friday night. D Jefferson, man, you came in a little bit late, but you cooked, man. Any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, man, I just want to say D-Style, G-Funky, bro, appreciate you guys. I really do, man. I love other panels that's out here for the truth. You know what I mean? Not on that. Like, you know, I always say this. As people, we're going to support our own cultures, right? And there's nothing wrong with supporting your own culture, right? Or your ethnic background. That's perfectly fine. But you got to keep the same energy. You got to be reasonable about it. And the things you say, you have to back that up with validity and substance. And that's what I respect about you guys. You know what I mean? It's not, yeah, it's causing Hispanics causing panics, but it's about boxing still, right? It's not all about Hispanics, right? And I can definitely appreciate that, man. I feel trapped sometimes, right? Because Afro-Rican and being on both sides and listening to the foolery coming from both sides at some points, sometimes, you know what I mean? But a channel like this, y'all on the path I'm on, bro. Much appreciated. I'm always here, bro. Always here to kick it with you guys.
We appreciate that, man. And we appreciate you giving us your time, G Jefferson. D Style Boxing, my co-host and co-founder of the Hispanics Causing Panic. Final thoughts, man.
Yo, chat, who's down with HCP? That's what I want to know. All right, because you know me. Let me tell you something. Tomorrow, the roundtable, don't miss that, because we're going in and we got some great boxing talk. That's what we're going to do, right? And of course, hey, man, 1 year anniversary, February 5th. It's going to be a pretty simple show. You know, just come on, chop it up with us for a little bit, and we'll just kind of rotate some people in and out, and then we'll just, it's not like timed or anything. We'll see when we end it. We'll be on for 10 minutes, 2 hours. I don't know. You know what I mean? We'll see. But it's a 1 year anniversary, and I appreciate everyone who has supported Hispanics Causing Panic here on this platform. You may not like everything you hear. You may not agree with everything you hear. But at the end of the day, we let everybody speak. We let everybody speak their mind. Yes, it can get a little heated. Yes, brother who can get mad at me because I talk all passionate and stuff. It's all good. But at the end of the day, when it's all over, it's like, okay, man, fist pump. Let's keep it moving, because at the end of the day, all right, despite differences, despite arguments, despite people pushing narratives or not pushing narratives, I know a lot of these dudes getting their money pushing narratives. I'm not even mad at them. I'm mad at the people that fall for it. That's who I'm mad at. Okay. So don't even get it twisted. I know people getting their bread. It's all good. Do what you got to do. It doesn't mean that I need to agree with it. That's all. Okay. I talk to a lot of you dudes behind the scenes. I talk to a lot of you. Okay. Disa, I wish I could jump in your chat. I don't want them to reprimand me. Okay. Do what you got to do, man. That's not how I want to live life. That's not how I want to do shit. Okay. Because actually, fucking how many times I told him, hey, man, you can't go there and don't go talk to this guy, and you better not hang around with that group over there. That's weak sauce, bullshit. We're all grown-ass men, and what I'm trying to say is, despite any differences, despite our religion or lack of religion or creed or race, ethnicity, nationality, the love of the sport is a higher power. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, and everybody motherfucking knows it, okay? LT, mezcal is disgusting, okay? Get yourself some tequila, okay, some real tequila, bro. I might have to hook you up with that. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, for everybody up north, man, like in the New York area and all that, like y'all think that disgusting shit is tequila. No, it's not. There's no worm in tequila, okay? That's why you're getting that ugly shit right here. But shit, I'll do a drinking contest. I don't give a fuck. Simple as that. But that's all I got to say to you, Funky. Keep moving.
That's right, man. And I highlighted this comment from the Brotherhood because, look, he came on, had a disagreement with us, but look, it's still all love, man. And we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you coming on and speaking with us, calling in. That was fun, man. I really liked the phone feature. That was good, man. We got a lot of people to come in and speak with us. And that's what this platform right here is all about. Uncensored is all about having you guys come on, whether you agree with us, disagree with us, you can come on and speak with us, just email me. You guys, my email is always here on the thing, email me. And next week, it depending on a milk car, if we can get them on again, we'll have the phone lines open again. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you guys, but we're going to wrap this thing up, man. This has been a great one. Make sure that you guys subscribe to everybody that called in that channel, everybody that was on the platform. You make sure you subscribe.
Black and Brown.
That's right.
Black and Brown.
Black and Brown as well, man. So we're going to end this one, guys. And LT, I got to tell you, man, you got to go and order you some tequila, man, online. There's some tequila. Maybe I'll hook you up, man, one of these days. But
you can go to the liquor store. You can go to the liquor store and get some tequila. Come on now.
Chale liquor store, man. I got the good shit, all right? Cave de Oro Añejo, man. Beautiful tequila. The best tequila I ever tasted in my life, man. Get you some of that. But for D-Style Boxing and for D Jefferson and everybody else that joined us, man, this is G Funky of HCP. We are out. See you on the next one.
Peace out.